Hello, everybody. Let's wait a couple of minutes to wait people to join. Okay, so I think that's enough to wait. I hope everybody joined that time. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining to today's webinar. I'm Aymete Dilek, leading the global MSSP Strategy and Enablement at SOCRadar. Today, I want to talk about something very simple, but also very important. Most MSSPs don't have a demand problem, but they have a monetization problem. So they are busy, they have customers, but they are not scaling revenue or margins. So the goal of this session is very clear. How do we turn cybersecurity engagement into real predictable revenue? And more importantly, how do we scale that revenue without increasing complexity or headcount? So I will walk you through what is broken in the current MSSP model, what is successful MSSPs are doing differently, and how you can use SOCRadar to build a scalable high-margin business. So let's start. Before we go deeper, let me quickly set the expectation. This is not a product demo. This is a business strategy session. So we are not here to talk about the features. We are not here to talk about the platform capabilities. We are here to talk about the revenue. First, I will start with the market reality, what's really happening today for MSSPs and MSPs globally. Then we will look at the main problem, why most providers are struggling to grow profitably. And after that, I will introduce the SOCRadar approach, but again, from a business perspective, not technical too much, and from a high-level perspective. And then we will go into some real revenue use cases, like how you can turn capabilities into actual income streams. And next, I will show you how you can scale without increasing complexity or headcount. And finally, I will give you a simple action plan, where to start and how to move fast. So by the end of this session, you should have a clear idea of how to build a more scalable, more profitable MSSP model. So let's start with the big picture. In the next 5 years, the most cybersecurity spending will shift towards MSSPs. Why? Because the enterprises are overwhelmed and they have too many tools, too many alerts, and not enough skilled people to manage them. And this is not a small trend, this is a structural shift. So if you look at the market, the MSSP market was around $31 billion, and it is expected to grow nearly 60 billion in just a few years. So that's one of the fastest growing segments in cybersecurity. And already more than 500,000 organizations are rely on MSSPs for 24/7 cybersecurity. So now, what is driving this demand? First, the attacks are getting more sophisticated. There is a massive shortage of cybersecurity talent. compliance requirements are increasing, and finally, the cost efficiency. It is simply more efficient for companies to outsource than building everything internally, right? So the key insight here is very important. The outsourcing security is not a trend anymore. It's becoming the default model, and that creates a massive opportunity for MSSPs. But then this is important. Having demand is not enough. So the real question is, how do you capture this demand profitably? That's what we will explore next. So let me be very direct. Most MSSPs think they have a demand problem. They don't. There's a demand everywhere. Customer needs security. The customers are already buying. But the real problem is the monetization. You are working, your teams are very busy, you have customers, but busy doesn't mean profitable. And this is what I see globally. So many MSSPs are running at full capacity, but still struggling with the margins. So the issue is not the effort, I can say. It's not that you are not working hard enough. The issue is the structure itself. How you package your services, how you price them, how you scale them. So most of the MSSPs are operating like service companies instead of operating like a scalable business. And if this doesn't change, the growth will always come with more cost, more customers, more people, and lower margins. So that's the trap itself, right? And the question is, how do we fix the structure? So that's what we will break down with the next slides. So yeah, let's break down this and why are most MSSPs struggling to scale? As we said, the problem is not effort, it is the structure itself. Therefore, there are four main challenges I see across almost every MSSP. The first one is the operational cost. Most MSSPs are built on people have a model. Every new customer means actually more analysts, more workload, more cost. So revenue grows, but the cost also grows at the same speed. So that's not scalable, right? And the second is too many tools, different platforms, different dashboards, no integration or low integration. So this creates alert fatigue, inefficiency, and burnout in SOC teams. So instead of scaling, you are just managing a complexity in this case. And the third one is the differentiation. So if your services looks like the everyone else, then what happened? So you compete on price, right? And that's a race that you cannot win long term. And finally, the reactive approach. Most of the MSSPs are responding after something happens. But customers today expect proactive security, early warning, intelligence. So if you stay reactive, you limit upsell and you limit trust. So when you combine all of these, the high cost, the too many tools, no differentiation, reactive services, you end up in a situation where you are busy but not scalable. You have customers but not strong margins. So the question becomes, what needs to change? And that's where the shift in the model starts. So now let's go one level deeper. The real enemy in the MSSP business is not competition. It's cost to serve. Most MSSPs don't track this properly. And this is the reason why margins are disappearing. So let's start with what increases the cost to serve, right? The custom expectations, firstly. Every customer is slightly different, so you create special setups, special rules, but over time, this kills the scalability. The second one is the manual onboarding. Every time you onboard a new customer, you are basically starting from scratch, starting from zero. Same work and again and again. And the third one is inconsistent triage and the escalation. So no standard model means more noise, more time spent, less efficiency. And the fourth one is the ad hoc reporting. So building reports from scratch for every customer, customized reports are not scalable. It's a hidden effort, but also it's very expensive. Now, how do we reduce the cost to serve? So it starts with the standardization. You need a clear service model, clear SLAs, clear expectations, then repeatable onboarding. That's very important. So you should not build every time. You should deploy every time using some templates, ready-to-use runbooks, workflows. And finally, the platform reuse. This is where the multi-tenancy, the integrations, and the automation come in. So this is how you scale without increasing cost. So if you remember one thing from this slide, the revenue grows when customers increase, profit grows when cost to serve decreases. And most of the MSSPs are only focusing on the first one, and the winners are focusing on both. So now, this is one of the important part. The good news is the MSSPs who are winning today are not working harder, as we mentioned earlier. They are working differently. They have made a fundamental shift in how they operate. So first, they move from reactive security to proactive intelligence. Instead of chasing alerts and reacting after incidents, they anticipate threats. They bring insights to customers before something happens. So that's where the real value starts. Second, they move from tool-based delivery to platform-based scale. So instead of managing multiple tools, manual workflows, and fragmented setups, they operate on one unified platform. Some of them, they have their in-house tools. Maybe they're using some SOAR platforms. They are trying to consolidate the tools they are using with the unified offerings. So one platform means many customers, and that's how you reduce cost per customer. And third, this is the biggest one. They move from one-off services to recurring revenue. Instead of doing project-based work, they build subscription services and predictable revenue, higher retention, easier upsell. So when you combine these three shifts, proactive instead of reactive, platform instead of tools, recurring instead of one-off, you unlock something very powerful. Predictable growth, scalable operations, stronger margins. And this is exactly how we designed the SOCRadar MSSP program, the platform itself. So it's not just a tool, but as a platform to enable this shift. So now this is where everything comes together. Everything we discussed so far, the challenge, the cost to serve, the need to scale. This is exactly why SOCRadar was built this way. Not retrofitted, not adapted later. It was designed from the day one for MSSPs. So let's start with the AI-driven threat intelligence. This is not about collecting more data. It is about filtering the noise. And our AI processes millions of signals, but surfaces only what matters for you, what matters for your customers. So it brings less noise, more actionable insights, higher value to your customers. The second is the multi-tenant architecture. This is the core of scalability. One console, multiple customers. You don't manage environments one by one. You operate everything from a single platform. And at the same time, full data isolation, custom branding, granular access control. This is what enables a true MSSP scale. The third one, automation first design. This is how you reduce cost to serve. Detection, triage, alerting, all automated. So your analysts are not doing repetitive work anymore. They focus on high-value activities, advisory, not manual operations. And finally, this is the most important part. Everything in SOCRadar is designed with revenue in mind, not just features, right? So use cases that you can sell, for example. Every capability maps to a service. Every service maps to a revenue. So monthly revenue, upsell opportunities, long-term retention. So when you combine all of this, intelligence, the multi-tenancy, the automation, the revenue use cases, you don't just get a platform, you get a business model. And now let me show you how this actually translates into real services and real revenue. So before going deeper into the capabilities, etc., I want to highlight something equally important as well, how we work with our MSSPs. Because technology alone is not enough, right? And SOCRadar is built as a channel-first organization. This is very important. We don't compete with our partners. We grow with our partners. Our success depends on your success. If you grow, we grow. Simple as that. Every MSSP is different. Different customers, different models, different industry verticals, different use cases. So we don't force one structure. Enablement, this is what we invest heavily because knowledge is what drives revenue. And finally, of course, the transparency. Clear expectations, clear pricing, clear model. That's how trust is built. So I can say this is not just a platform, it's a partnership model designed for MSSP growth. Now, let's continue with the multi-tenancy. This is one of the most important concepts. And I want to be very clear about it. This is not just a technical feature. This is your operational advantage for the scalability. If you don't have multi-tenancy, you cannot scale efficiently because you are managing customers one by one. And that means more effort, more cost, more complexity, more interfaces, and many other stuff. And with a multi-tenancy, everything changes because you have one console and you manage all your customers from a single interface. No context switching, no jumping between environments, less errors, more efficiency. And then the centralized alarm management or the centralized configurations. Instead of configuring things per customer, you define once and apply it everywhere, right? Policies, the alerts, the reporting, anything you can imagine. And this saves hours every week, hours. And onboarding becomes very simple. You don't rebuild because you can replicate using the templates, the predefined setups. So new customers go live faster and your cost of onboarding goes down. And on the right side, this is the outcome. One console, unlimited customers, and most importantly, up to 80% efficiency gain. This is where the real shift happens, I can say, because revenue can grow linearly, but cost doesn't need to grow with it. That's the definition of scalability. So again, this is not just an architecture, this is your business model. And now let's see how automation builds on top of this. So this is where the real transformation happens. Let me simplify it. The difference between a struggling MSSP and the scalable one is not the headcount, it's the automation. So if you look at the traditional SOC at the left side, everything is manual. Alert triage, investigations, reporting, analysts are buried in noise, and what happens? Alert fatigue, burnout, missed threats, unhappy customers. They are always reactive, always behind, and most importantly, growth is tied to headcount in this case. So more customers equals more hires. So, and that's not scalable. If you check the right side, now compare it with a SOCRadar MSSP or SOCRadar automated SOC. Only real verified threats reach to your analysts. So there is no noise, no wasted time. And the second is AI prioritized intelligence. So we don't just give you alerts, we give you context, we give meaning, we give action. But this is where we go one step further, agentic AI workflows as well. This is not just an automation, this is AI can take action. For example, automatically investigating a threat, correlating multiple signals, triggering workflows, even initiating response steps without human intervention. So your SOC becomes proactive, intelligent, self-operating at scale. Then we have agentic reporting. Reporting is one of the biggest hidden costs in MSSPs, as we spoke earlier. Traditionally, the analysts are spending hours building reports, and with SOCRadar, with the help of our customized AI, agentic AI supported reporting, the reports are generated automatically. You can define the report tone, like for a SOC team, for a CISO, for an executive summary. The context is already added. The insights are already business ready. So instead of building reports, your team delivers the value instantly. And finally, we have MCP server. This is a game changer for scale because it allows you to centralize all the intelligence processing using your AI tools, third-party tools, by connecting with SOCRadar MCP. You can run the agentic workflows across your tenants, standardize the operations globally. So instead of each customer being separate, you operate everything from a single intelligence layer, I can say. So what happens with all of this? Analysts will stop doing repetitive work, as we mentioned earlier. They move into advisory roles and higher value and higher margin. And most importantly, growth is no longer tied to headcount. It becomes platform driven, and customers. So you will add customers, not people, and margins improve as you scale. And this is the key metric: revenue per analyst. This is what separates high-performing MSSP from the rest. And this is what exactly SOCRadar maximizes. So now let's see how this translates into actual services that you can sell. Because this is where MSSPs either win or stay stuck. So what you're seeing here is very simple, but very powerful at the same time. Every capability must translate into a billable service, and every service must map to a revenue type. So on the left, we have the platform capabilities. In the middle, how you package them as a managed services. And on the right, how you can actually make money from them. So let's take a few examples. The dark web monitoring, this is not just visibility. This becomes a subscription-based MDR extension for your existing MDR offerings. So now we are moving from reactive security to proactive monitoring, and that creates a monthly recurring revenue for you. The external attack surface management, this becomes continuous exposure management, not a one-time scan, an ongoing service, which means long-term contracts for you. The brand protection, this is where you introduce your premium upsells, premium services, the executive protection, brand protection, phishing takedowns, high value and high margins. Threat intelligence feeds, instead of raw data, you package into managed SIEM enrichment. You will have less noise, better detections for your customers, and it becomes a high margin add-on for you. And the vulnerability intelligence, this evolves into advisory services, patch prioritization, risk-based decisions. So now you are combining the recurring revenue and consulting value. And the biggest mistake MSSPs make is this: they sell tools, but they don't translate them into services. And if it's not a service, it is not scalable revenue as well. So the strategy here is very clear. build your MRR based with bundled recurring services, then layer high margin add-ons on top of it. And this is how you move from selling licenses to build the revenue machine. So once you structure your services like this, scaling will be becoming much easier because now every customer is not a project and it's a recurring account for you. So let's zoom out a little bit. This is how your, I think, the existing security ecosystem actually looks like today. So you already have multiple vendors, right? The identity, endpoint, cloud, the email security, the vulnerability management. So each of them solving a piece of the problem. But here is the issue. Most of these tools are reactive and they detect after something happens. So this is where the SOCRadar comes in as an early warning system. So we sit outside of the organization and detect risks before they become incidents. So for example, leaked credentials before unauthorized access, exposed cloud buckets before the data breach. I don't know, missing SPF DMARC records before phishing attacks. So these are the early warning signals for you. And every one of these findings creates something very important: a business opportunity. So when you detect an exposure, when you detect a vulnerability, a misconfiguration, you can basically connect it to a solution like patch management, cloud security, email protection, identity access management improvements. So this is where the cross-sell happens. So instead of waiting for incidents, you create the conversations, you create the urgency, you create new revenue streams. This is how top MSSPs are growing nowadays, not just by monitoring, but by identifying opportunities. So SOCRadar doesn't just detect threats, it generates basically the business opportunities for your services. So we don't just find risks, we create reasons to engage with your customers. And let's look at very simple example, just one Stealer log. What can we do with a single Stealer log, right? So this means a user's credentials are exposed if there's a Stealer log, a device may be compromised, and access could already be happening. So from here, the MSSP starts the investigation, map it to real user or assets, enriching with the contacts, check if the endpoint is still active or not, etc. And this is where things are changing. This is not just an alert anymore. This becomes a business opportunity because when you look at the actions on the right side, EDR isolation, MDM wipe, identity protection, CASB policies, privilege access management actions. So multiple teams, multiple tools, multiple services. So and every one of these has actions can be a billable service. So from a single Stealer log, you trigger instant response, you trigger MDR actions, you trigger identity security, you trigger cloud security, and this is the cross-sell in action. So this is how the MSSPs are growing, not from more alerts, but from better use of each finding, basically. And the dark web monitoring is, I think, one of the fastest way to generate revenue with SOCRadar. Step one, we can call it the hook. We start with something very simple, a free dark web scan. Why it works? Because the customers don't see this data anywhere else. And then they see exposed credentials. So the conversation changes immediately. So this is not a theoretical risk anymore. It is real evidence and it belongs to them. And we don't talk about generic threats. We don't position an hypothetical MDR service or any other service you have, because you are showing what is happening for them, what is happening in their industry. And then we package this into a simple briefing, like business impact, the risk level, what to do next, what kind of services or tools you need to improve this. So from detection to continuous monitoring. So the journey is very simple. Free scan, exposures identified, the gaps identified, share the findings, and close the MSS service. So this is not a sales pitch. The data sells itself, actually. So that's why the dark web monitoring is the fastest path to first revenue. So my recommendation is don't sell security, show them their gaps, show the breaches. So we recommend a very simple 3-tier model. Start small, expand value, and capture enterprise margin. Tier 1 essential, let's call it essential. We start with something every MSSP already understands, right? The managed SIEM, managed SOC, but enhanced with the threat intelligence. So this is not just the SIEM monitoring. This is intelligence-driven SIEM. What we are doing here is enriching alerts with real threat intelligence, reducing noise and false positives, helping analysts focus on what actually matters. And this is your fastest entry point. The customer already have SIEM. They already feel alert fatigue, and they immediately see the value. But this is still reactive security. So you are responding to alerts, not proactively discovering threats. Now, if we proceed with the tier 2, advanced one, this is where the things are getting interested, like continuous monitoring, proactive detection on MXDR layer, executive reporting. This becomes a true managed security service. This is where the retention starts to lock in. Higher MRRs, longer contracts, and harder to churn. And the premium can be at enterprise level, full XDI coverage, including threat intel, dark web monitoring, attack surface management, brand protection, multi-vector monitoring, custom reporting, and briefing. So this is not a tool. This is a strategic security service, and it will provide you highest margin and lowest churn. So the goal is not to sell premium from the day one. The goal is to land with the essential and then expand it to advanced and premium. So this creates a natural expansion path for your organization. Start with one use case, add continuous monitoring, expand it into full intelligence coverage. And this is where the magic happens, basically, because you increase revenue per customer without increasing your cost. And if we proceed with an example, now let's look at a real example, a SOCRadar MSSP in the UK, and how this MSSP is currently utilizing SOCRadar. So our observation, they already provide managed threat intelligence. This is basically managed SOCRadar services. They are using digital risk protection and CTI modules. They do have MXDR service, which is supported with cyber threat intelligence feeds and IOC enrichment. And they have instant response. Basically, they are using the cyber threat intelligence module to support this service. But everything is positioned as a single layer, as you see, right? So when we perform this analysis for this our existing partner, we identified some key insights. The limitation, because they have some same services for all the customers, and they have limited upsell opportunities. So the opportunity is very simple, introducing tiered service packages. So for example, for the threat intelligence service, basically the managed SOCRadar service, the original package was digital risk protection and cyber threat intelligence combination. But there could be 3 tiers, which we can position as a lower tier and a higher tier, and this can be sit in the mid tier. And To capture smaller customers, to create some new greenfield opportunities, a lower tier could be created with this MSSP by including dark web monitoring, which is a cost-effective service, plus cyber threat intelligence. This can be expanded with DRP for mid-market, the existing offering they have, and then they can move to full XTI for large enterprise customers, which will create upsell for external attack surface management. So this creates a natural upgrade path for the customers. For MXDR, they do provide only the threat feeds and IOCs. This can be the lowest tier, starting with CM plus feeds. The mid-tier can be combined with dark web monitoring for proactive detection and prevention. If there is a stealer lock detected, maybe the device can be isolated automatically. So these type of automations, the orchestrations can be done, and you can provide more proactive approach to your customers. And then it can expand in the full intelligence-driven MXDR. So again, there's a clear progression. So what changes? You don't change the service, actually. You structure it better. And that gives you more entry points, more upsell opportunities, more revenue per customer. So this is how you turn a flat service into a scalable commercial model. So same services, structured better, monetized smarter. So let's simplify everything we discussed very quickly. This is not just a platform, it's a business model. Instead of managing multiple tools, you can consolidate everything with SOCRadar, reduce your cost, remove the integration complexity. You don't need to scale your team linearly. Automation handles the workload for you. Analysts focus on only high margin services. And this is where it becomes powerful. Every new customer doesn't increase the cost significantly. It directly increases the revenue. And everything is standardized and automated, detection, the reporting, the escalation. So the equation becomes very simple. More customers, same team, higher margins. And this is how the MSSP scale without increasing complexity. Let's proceed with the business impact for the MSSPs. By the way, these are not assumptions. These are the real results of SOCRadar MSSPs working with us. First, the margin improvement. By reducing the tool sprawl, by automating the delivery, the cost per customer goes down. The second one is the revenue per customer. Through tiered services, through structured upsell like we discussed earlier, each customer becomes more valuable over time. 10x scale, this is the most important one. Same team managing significantly more customers. This is operational leverage. And faster sales, because we don't sell theory. We show the real data. So it is creating urgency and fear on the customer side. So the customers will be moving more faster. So when you combine all of these, the higher margins, the higher revenue, better scale, the faster sales, this is what a modern MSSP looks like. And what is driving measurable business growth? So this slide shows what happens when everything we discussed so far comes together. So these are not isolated metrics. They are connected to each other. First, the margin improves. By the way, the margin line is the white and the MRR growth is the red one. Because the delivery becomes automated and tool sprawl is eliminated. So that's why the margin improves. The second, customer acquisition cost. It gets easier because you are not selling features. You are showing real risk and real value, and you are basically repeating the same onboarding cycles. You are using your templates, and etc. And the third one is of course, the retention increases because services become continuous and the customer stays and expand. And finally, the scale. Same team, more customers. This is where profitability really accelerates. And so what happens over time? Revenue grows, margin improves at the same time, but this is the compounding effect. So recurring revenue increases, margin follows, but it is not linear. It is exponential. So this is not just growth. I can say this is a scalable growth. And growth without margin is not success. This gives you both. So your roadmap, your growth roadmap to start small and dominate fast, step by step. The big idea is the key is not doing everything at once, right? Start small, execute fast. The first step is pick one or two SOCRadar use cases, solve a real customer problem, bundle it with your existing offerings, generate immediate value. Then structure your pricing, tiered package, like we discussed earlier, clear upsell opportunities, and then operational setup. Deploy quickly, use templates, reduce delivery efforts, create playbooks and similar stuff internally, and then scale. Expand the existing customers, drive upsell, cross-sell, add new logos, and increase the recurring revenue. So the journey is very simple. Start with one use case, prove the value, scale systematically. And you don't do this alone because your partner success manager, your channel account manager, your solution engineers, technical account managers helps here to help you build and execute this plan. So as a final note, start small, scale fast, dominate your market. Let me close with one simple idea. The MSSPs that will win are not the ones working harder. They are the ones working smarter. Today, we showed how to monetize your services, how to structure your offerings, how to scale without increasing costs. And SOCRadar is not just a platform, it's the engine, the revenue engine behind the transformation. And the opportunity is real. The model works, the path is clear. So now the only question is, how fast do you want to move? So let's build your growth plan together. My presentation has ended, and if you have any questions, I will be checking the questions. I will be very happy to answer all of them. Thanks for listening. Okay, I don't see any questions so far. Don't be shy, guys. I will be waiting a couple of more minutes, and afterwards we will end the session. Okay, I think there is no question. Thanks for listening again. Looking forward to seeing you with the next webinar.